What the hell? Ah, come on. Say no more. So, things don't always go as planned on projects, and here we had a bad weather day. So what do you do on a bad weather day? You go for a fun dive.
Seasick.
The fun dive for this particular fun episode was a B17 plane in around 72 meters, which is very nice. You can't actually see how rough it is. It always looks disappointing when you're out in rough weather how calm it looks on the phone. But we chose a site on the lee shore so that we could actually get in the water. Here you can see us setting all our gear up. There was 8 or 9 divers getting in the water, and everybody always makes a big splash when they touch down. And there we see Andy off on a secret mission. More on that at some point in the future. Some people like to jump with everything, some people like to have it handed down to them. Sometimes you don't have the option. If it's big seas and super rough, you have to get in with everything ready to go. You can see a little clip here of us swimming around on the wreck. B17's not that big, so it's kind of busy with 8 or 9 tech divers, kind of like a traffic jam. Split is a very beautiful place. At the end of the dive, Andy was always there to pick us up. On this day, it was Aniska, his mother, who ably skippered the boat whilst Andy went diving. So that's a good thing to look for in a dive operator, is a dive operator who still loves diving. And here we can hear the lift creaking as Ben gets back on board. He's about 17 foot tall, so that's not surprising. They do make the Dutchies kind of tall. For some reason, Jinhui and I went to a place on the shore where nobody else was, but we did have a super nice deco full of fishies and stuff like that. And you can see my non-quarry bag, which is nice and big, so they were able to find us. Lifts do make the diving certainly a lot easier and nicer rather than humping up a ladder, but I would always choose a cool dive with a bad exit than only choosing to dive from a boat with a lift. But don't get me wrong, lifts are super cool. They do make it a lot easier to get in and out of the water. Well, out of the water obviously, but most importantly, safety-wise, if we had an incapacitated or injured diver, it would be much easier to get them back on board where you could effect first aid. You can see Stefano, the group mother, super keen to get out of the water and start cooking for us, which is super nice. And we were very lucky to have him because he's a great cook and a great teammate. I'm not taking a pee there. The key to good diving is to look after all your teammates. So once you get out of the water, you help other people around and you move around to make their life easy. And Kat just makes that heavy rig look super light. It's kind of disappointing because she's half the size of me. And of course, after the dive, the post-dive stories, a little bit of drinking and enjoying. Then we had a nice drive back to the dive centre, which looks kind of calm. Meanwhile, if we look out to sea, you can see the boat bobbing around, and it wasn't quite as calm on the way back because of the big swells, but they eventually got back. And of course, Jinhui arrived just in time to eat some rice because he's Chinese. Chinese love to eat rice.